Hi everyone, welcome back to our channel, The Guru Family. It's just me today, but I wanted to do an in-depth video about our process of shipping our car from the UK to Zimbabwe. A few people have asked me over on TikTok and I thought it's best to just do a longer video on here. So we moved to Zimbabwe from the UK 9 months ago now, sorry, 10 months ago, and we shipped our car from the UK to Zimbabwe. We was actually supposed to take a container and put our personal belongings and our vehicle in the container, but we ended up withdrawing that at the very last minute and we shipped a car by itself instead. So if you ship a car, they advise you not to put anything inside the car because there's a risk of things being stolen, but we did put our car seats in for our kids in the car and they arrived fine. But anyway, the breakdown is as follows. We used a company called Ship Cars UK. These were the most fairest prices that we could find at this time. So firstly, our car that we had cost us £3,000. Then to ship it, it was £2,000. So that was from the UK to Durban. And because we lived about 4 hours away from the area where they actually ship the car, we had a service where they would come take the car and then take it down to the docks. So that was an additional £250, and then you also have to have like a health test on the car. That was 125. So that's 3,000 for the car, 2,000 for the shipment, 250 for the collection and then take it to the dock, and then 125 for the health test. So that comes to 5275. Now, because they were bringing the car to Durban, we then had to find a trucker who could take the car from Durban to Zimbabwe, so Bait Bridge border. That was £650 for that service, and we used a service called Logan Freight. They were actually quite good. So the initial time frame was, I think, about 6 weeks for the car to get from the UK to Durban, and then another week to 10 days from Durban to Zimbabwe. So we're thinking about 7 weeks. Our car was delayed by 6 weeks, so we ended up hiring a car whilst we were here, which was costing us an extra 150 to 200 every week. So we probably spent more money when we actually got here because, like I say, we had to get a hire car. We timed it so that our car would be here when we actually arrived in Zim, but it didn't work out that way. You can actually return the car as a returning resident, so they say that the duty fees are a bit less. So they said that we were going to have to pay about 15%, but what they didn't tell us is at Zimbabwe border actually charge you or calculate the VAT on what the car is worth in Zimbabwe, not what you bought it for, even if you have a receipt. So they calculated our worth of the cars about 16,000, 15,000 US, which meant we were going to have to pay over 2,000 in duty. We did manage to get it down a bit. It does seem that at the border, if you know someone there or if you know someone that knows someone, you can kind of get around some things. But yeah, we ended up paying about 1,000 in duty, and then also you then have to get the license plates, you have to get the insurance, so you're going to need maybe another 500 to do all that as well. Plus, Tanasha actually ended up staying in Bait Bridge for about 2 weeks there and back, just because of our car was delayed. You could see our car there, it'd been delivered, but they wouldn't release it because one of the other cars was there was something wrong with it, so ours was on the top of the lorry and there was another one there. So all in all, we spent about 8,000 getting the car, getting our car here, all the fees, including the hire of the other car that we had to get. And yeah, it was a long process. If we'd have known, we would have just bought a car here in Zimbabwe because it was just too much faff. But on the other hand, our car is worth about 14 to 15,000 US now. So if we wanted to sell it, we would make our money back, but it's not worth all of the drama. And if there's one tiny glitch at the Zimbabwe border, it can be very difficult. You have to have many documents. You have to have the logbook, you have to have owned the car for 6 months, you have to have 2 years worth of bank statements, address, pay slips, all that sort of stuff. Then you also have to have proof of a returning resident. So you need a stamp in your passport. You also need title deeds for a property that you own in Zimbabwe, just to prove to them that you are actually a returning resident. It's a real faff, to be honest. But it might have been easier if we'd have just brought the container, because the car would have been in the container. They would have still searched it and done the duty and everything, but still. We didn't have a good experience. Plus, we didn't have a good experience with ship cars who shipped our car. They were really like fobbing us off when we were asking for updates about the delays. They just kept saying the ship is delayed. That's all they said. So yeah, we just didn't have a good process with it at all, and we don't think it's worth it. It's better to just buy a car here in Zim. The only issue is when you buy a car in Zim, you can't get anything for like less than 3,000 or 4,000 that's like a little one and not like anything decent. So I don't know if I'd recommend it. It depends on the car, to be honest, but yeah, it's hard. It's a hard process.